Okay,
Thank you.
Denny, can you hear us? Denny, are we muted?
Oh, he's frozen.
Are we muted?
No, you're not muted. I can
Denny
hear
is
you.
frozen.
And you guys, I
Here, he's
got
back.
had to sign back in, so.
Denny, can you hear us? He cannot hear us.
I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
Whew. It's exhausting. Can you see us?
I can see Chuck Berry.
Turn our camera on. There we are.
There we are.
All right. I'm glad we had this time together.
Well, I would have been, I didn't see that it was in person or Zoom, so here I am.
Yeah, we'll clarify that in the upcoming calendar invites. So, okay, Mr. Chair.
Very good. Well, here we are. It's Thursday, February 2nd, 2023 at 3:10 p.m. I'd like to open the Gig Harbor Civil Service Commission meeting. Shannon, would you like to take attendance?
Or Diane, let's have Diane do it. She's also here.
Good answer. Diane,
Charles Perry,
here.
Tom Brown,
Here.
Chief Busey,
I'm here.
Shanna Costanti, and here.
Denny.
Danny Richards,
Here.
Diane Bertram, here. Everyone is available.
Very good. Okay, first thing, approval of the minutes from the November 3rd, 2022 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Absolutely.
Didn't we have a special meeting in January?
I don't believe so. I don't have all my minutes, all of my notes with me, so.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong on that. All right. I'm wrong.
Okay,
Again.
I don't recall it either, so.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
Anyway, so everybody's had a chance to read those minutes. Any changes or corrections?
No, sir. Move to approve.
Okay. Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Okay. Moving on to new business. It's time to elect a new chairman. Golly, Tom, Denny.
Are you burned out?
I personally don't care. I'm willing to continue, or I'm very happy to pass it on to either one of you. So
I would like to nominate Chuck for chair.
I'll second that.
do I hear a train coming? Is that
Just a minute, my dog's over here in the corner.
any other nominations? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tom?
I said, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, well, that's the first piece of business taken care of. Second piece of business, entry-level testing process and admin. Kelly, I think we'll turn it over to you to present on that.
Thank you very much. So in the 2023-24 biennial budget for the city, we were authorized the ability to hire 4 additional police officers. Denny, up to 25 commissioned.
Wow,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That is amazing. For context there, when Denny hired me, I was 9 of 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, so we have immediately now 4 vacancies. We also anticipate 2 retirements in the first 6 months of this year. So we're looking probably to hire 6,
Wow.
which is not easy to do in today's environment. As you know, when we've talked about, we've only hired lateral entry officers for the last 14 years, I believe. And now it's time to look at kind of making a blend. We get us a little bit younger, get some new people in the business. There's a call from within to kind of develop our own officers too a little bit. So we're looking to blend that. Whatever that proportion looks like, I'm not sure yet. I'll go through the entry-level testing and hiring process with you here in a moment, so you have an idea. But what we need to do today is get your approval for an entry-level process, and I'll go further into that in a moment. So I guess maybe the easiest thing to do is work our way through the entry-level testing process. And I'm sorry, I don't have anything for you on the screen. But the first step there is, of course, we need to recruit, and then people would submit their application online. They would then be invited to take a physical agility test and then a written test. As far as the written test now, let's take a minute and pay our attention to the attachments that I sent you along with the agenda. We don't easily have the ability to write our own test. Like we do for a promotional exam. There is a company in Iowa, I think it is, that's used by a couple of the departments in Western Washington. Most agencies use publicsafetytesting.com out of Linwood. That is a service that people from all over the state or wherever can go to about once a month. They offer testing for all subscriber police departments. We used to subscribe. Our contract is now idle with them, but they'll take a written test. Hundreds of people will take a written test and a physical agility test in one day. The candidates then get to pick up to 5 police departments to have their results sent to. They can purchase the ability to send their results to even more. I think it's $5 per agency. So they take the tests. Gig Harbor says we want to hire. We call up public safety testing. We say, hey, send us the top 15 on your list, and that have checked the box for Gig Harbor, and they'll send us those people. We usually start then with an oral board interview of our own. That's problematic for us that we've learned. What we get out of that are not the caliber of candidates that we want. We get good test takers, but not necessarily people that are cut out for this profession. And moreover, they don't have any connection to Gig Harbor itself. They could be from Ellensburg testing through public safety testing just to get their foot in the door. And as you know, an agency this size, we don't want that. We don't want to pay to train someone only to have them leave a year later. So we'd like to start with them having their own connection to Gig Harbor. So we thought we would do our own testing process and purchase this test through the company out of, I'm pretty sure it's Iowa. The advantage of that is that this is a professionally written test that is screened for biases and has been proven over and over. So we have that defensibility of the test if it's ever challenged. The way that works is we order the test from them. They overnight it to us. We administer the test ourselves. We proctor it, and then we box up the test, send them back to the company for scoring. And then they give us the scores within 48 hours. It costs $25 per test. And initially we thought, well, how do we cover that cost? And then I thought, you know, the wildly successful candidate pool would probably be 100 applicants. I don't anticipate that. The applicant pools haven't been that deep lately. So, but let's just say worst case scenario or best case scenario, we have 100 applicants and we pay for the test. That's $2,500. And so I spoke with the city administrator on this, and she agrees that's probably cheap insurance for having a defensible test, all right, $2,500. So we thought we would just absorb the cost of that in this hiring environment. And so now when we merge back to into the lane of our testing process, we've now offered the physical agility test here, then the written test, maybe even in the same day. We can talk about the mechanics of that. And we establish a preliminary list. We say, okay, now we've ranked our applicants, pass, fail on the physical agility, and then their numeric score on the written test. And we say, we're going to interview or take to oral board the top 15 or so candidates. From that, we think, all right, how many openings do we have? How many really good candidates do we have from this? How many do we want to open a background investigation on? And that number, in our instance here, I would project to be 2 or 3 at a time. So we would open a background investigation. There's a fairly significant attrition rate in that process, almost 50%. And then of the people that pass through the background successfully, we bring them in for a final chief's interview. That's my opportunity to get to know them a little bit and make sure they're the right fit, which is really a big key for us. And then we can give them a conditional offer of employment. And we have traditionally, but lately, conditioned those on psychological testing, which is required by law, a physical exam, a polygraph exam, which is also required by law, and then something we do that's different than every other agency in the state. We offer an emotional intelligence screening, and that's been pretty popular for us, gives us some good insight. I'm going to suggest that we move the emotional intelligence screening to a part of the process sooner than the conditional offer of employment, right? There's no way to really condition that the results of that test. There is no pass fail, there's no numeric score for emotional intelligence screening. It's just more, hey, here's how this person's going to react under stress, or here's how they're accepting of criticism, or this is how self-aware they are. So I don't know that we need to condition that particular portion, and I'm going to recommend that we move that prior to the conditional offer of employment. Are we still following me on that?
Yes.
Okay. If they pass those conditions, then we would give them an offer of employment, and that's when they get the final opportunity to sign on the dotted line. So that's how that works. If we continue the hiring process now, we need to send them to the Basic Law Enforcement Academy up in Burien, and that's a 5.5-month school, if you will. The problem right now is that the academies are so crowded and backlogged that the current wait time is, they're quoting between 7 and 9 months.
Really?
And you
Wow.
can't sign anybody up until you have them on the payroll. So in reality, though, what I'm learning is they'll tell you 7 to 9 months, but due to dropouts, the wait time from some of our other agencies in the area has been more like 5 months. So we would take that 5 months to have them work in the property room. We can give them some field training, take them to the range, make sure they're squared away there. We can do some preloading so that when they do go to the academy, they're ready to go. So then the Basic Law Enforcement Academy, as I said, when they come out of the academy, we give them a couple of days off, and then they start their field training program, which is about 3 months in-house. So really, they're not good to us as a solo officer for probably about 14 months on average. So that's the entry-level process. The council is aware of that, and they're willing to just let us figure out what we need to do, that blended lateral and entry. My position would be, let's just take the best candidates possible. If they happen to be entry level, that's fine. If they happen to be lateral, that's fine. Questions about any of that process?
No, I think that's a good process. It's going to be hard to get people to apply, number one, because of all the information that goes out every day about law enforcement. So I think you're on the right trail there. It's too bad it takes so long to get into the academy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a killer.
They are experimenting with opening satellite academies. And so that they are offering one in Pasco as kind of an experiment to try to reduce the wait times. Those are being staffed by officers from the departments in that area instead of full-time academy instructors. So same curriculum, same length of time, but so they're trying that. I've heard that Bremerton is also being looked at for one of the satellite academies, which would be great for us.
That's where I went to Olympic College.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
6
University,
weeks.
University of 16th and Chester there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess what I would need from you is your approval for the testing process as I just laid out. One other thing that I would mention is that our physical agility test now consists of three elements. It's running 300 yards in 71 seconds. Used to be a mile and a half, right, Danny?
Yeah,
And then a sit-up test. You have, well, we've been doing 30 sit-ups in 60 seconds. And then push-ups, 21 push-ups in one attempt, meaning you can stop, you just can't like put your knees down and all kind of stuff. So that's been it. The academy, however, has changed their structure a little bit. Instead of doing a run, they do what they call squat thrusts. They've been called mountain climbers or burpees or whatever. It's basically you stand up, squat down, kick your legs out, then stand back up again. And you have to do that 35 times in 3 minutes, which seems pretty easy to me. But so we would likely adopt the academy's standards for physical agility testing. Just so, again, that's defensible. We can say, how did we arrive at that? Well, we point to the academy. So when we wrap this all up, the process would be physical agility, written test, oral board before they go to background. And that's the approval we need from you.
I would agree to that. That makes good sense.
I agree. You know, and I think the fact that we go to the public locally is going to be very beneficial versus, you know, depending upon testing out of, was it Linwood?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the chances of picking up new candidates from this area that would have a tie to the area would be, you know, much more beneficial. And I think it would be more common to get a candidate here than trying to find somebody who's moving into the area. So.
Right. One of the other perils right now in law enforcement, because it's just cutthroat, is that recruits are being poached out of the academy itself. You
Oh,
know,
That's-
they'll send an officer from an agency in to kind of check on their own recruit, and while they're there, they're talking to the other recruits saying, hey, why don't you come to our agency, we'll give you a $10,000 signing bonus or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So we don't want that to happen. So if they have more of a tie to the harbor, that's helpful.
Yeah, is there a way to tie them to a signing contract that if they don't, they pick up the cost of the year or something?
In years past, we could probably get away with that, but in this hiring environment, no way.
Okay.
Question?
How do you get to prior employment and other referral type issues? Is that part of the background?
It is. So the background on an officer takes about a month, 5 weeks sometimes, you know, and we travel to wherever they're from. We'll do a real extensive background. We find the ex-wives, the old employers, the high school friends, the whoever, and talk to them. And
Who does it?
one of our detectives.
Okay. Well, do I hear a motion to accept the process as presented?
I would present that motion,
Okay,
accept it as it's presented by the chief. Makes sense to me,
yeah.
and I've been there.
Second,
Any additional discussion?
No, I think the chief's done a lot of hard work getting this this far. That's an incredible thing you have to do in this environment. So,
Yeah.
thank you,
Brutal,
Chief.
yeah.
Well, we'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And passes unanimously.
And I guess for Diane, we can just adopt this piece of paper as part of the minutes. Or you can capture it either way. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Does anybody else have any other things for the agenda?
I have one good of the order thing.
Okay.
As it relates to our lateral applicants and current officers. So we've reached a tentative agreement between the city and the police union. And so the union is taking that to their side to vote on it, and then it would have to be ratified by our city council. But that's good progress, and it would represent a 3-year contract.
Very good.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
We're waiting really to put the pedal down on advertising for lateral applicants until that's done, because we don't want to go public with 2022 wages. We'd rather have the new wages.
Right. Very good. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to end the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I guess we can stop recording.
Thank you.